Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay. Today we're looking at this book, Evidence Demands a Verdict, and we're looking at the case for the Bible. The Bible is unique in its survival. Although it was first written on perishable materials and had to be copied and recopied for hundreds of years before the invention of the printing press, the scriptures have never diminished in style or correctness, nor have they ever faced extinction. Compared with other ancient writings, the Bible has more manuscript evidence to support than any of the pieces of classical literature. John Warwick Montgomery observes that to be skeptical of the resultant text of the New Testament books is to allow all of classical antiquity to slip into obscurity, for no documents of the ancient world are as well attested bibliography as the New Testament. Similarly, Bruce Metzer, Princeton professor and one of the world's leading biblical textual critics, comments that in contrast with other ancient texts, the textual critic of the New Testament is embarrassed by the wealth of his material. Metzer, TNT 34. Bernard Rand speaks of the accuracy and number of biblical manuscripts. Jews preserve it as no other manuscript has ever been preserved with the Masoretic. They kept tabs on every letter, syllable, and paragraph. They had special classes of men within their culture whose sole duty was to preserve and transmit these documents with practically perfect fidelity: scribes, lawyers, Masoretes, whoever counted the letters and syllables and words of Plato or Aristotle or Cicero or Seneca. Ram, PC 53, 230, 231. John Lee, in The Greatest Book in the World, compares the Bible with Shakespeare writings. In an article in the North American Review, a writer made some interesting comparisons between the writings of Shakespeare and the scriptures, which show that much greater care must have been bestowed upon the biblical manuscripts than other writings, even when there was so much more opportunity for preserving the correct text by means of printed copies than all the copies had to be made by hand. He said, "It seems strange that the next text of Shakespeare, which has been in existence less than 208 years, should be far more uncertain and corrupt than that of the New Testament, now over 18 centuries old, during nearly 15 of which it existed only in manuscript. With perhaps a dozen or 20 exceptions, the text of every verse in the New Testament may be said to be far settled by general consent of scholars, that any dispute as to its reading must relate rather to the interpretation of the words than to any doubts respecting the words themselves. But in every one of Shakespeare's 37 plays there are probably 100 readings still in dispute, a large portion of which materially affects the meaning of the passage in which they occur." Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing.